Coming up in this edition of Ball State Sports Inc.'s Be a Fan, we'll sit down with head baseball coach Rich Maloney and discuss his return back to Ball State.
We'll also introduce you to an impressive gymnast who wasn't going to let an injury stop her from competing in the sport she loves. All that and more coming up on SportsLink.
Ball State SportsLink's Be a Fan is brought to you by Muncie Nissan. Shift the way you move.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Ball State Sports Inc.'s Be a Fan with the best stories in March, driven by Muncie Nissan. I'm Josh Blessing.
And I'm Pat Boylan.
Pat, we have a wide variety of sports this month, including 5 different Ball State sports.
But we'll begin with gymnastics, where Brittney Emmons began her career at just 2.5 years old. Now, Brittney always dreamed of going to the Olympics, and to do so, she put in 40-hour work weeks. Now she's just looking forward to a MAC championship, but an injury has made things difficult. Let's take a look at this story produced by Luke Magziman and Emily Barker, presented by WMDH.
Dedication and hard work. That's what gymnastics takes. And for Brittney Emmons, her love of gymnastics started at a young age.
I began at the age of 2.5, and my mom just told me that I had to wait till my brother was a little bit older before I could be put in, and that day came and I told her I wanted to be put in gymnastics and done it ever since. Being able to go out there and do something that people can't always say they can do, and that I had all these people that backed me up from my coaches. I've had the same coaches in club since I was little, and they've just really been my motivation to be able to help me get through everything and tell me that I was good enough to be able to pursue my dreams. My dream with any other kid was to go to the Olympic Games, and I tried for a very long time. I homeschooled from 6th through 8th grade, trained 40 hours a week to do the elite program, and my body just said that that was too much by the time I became a sophomore in high school. And so I kind of altered them a little bit and just said, you know what, college is probably a good thing to look into. Natalie was a really good recruiter when it came to me. Like, I had no idea about this school, and she did a really good job selling it to me because obviously I'm from Florida, so coming up to Indiana was going to be a big shock, culture-wise, weather-wise, and everything. So I think she did a really good job to make me feel like I was going to be at home here.
She's just a very determined, not only athlete, but student, and just really have been really impressed with her whole time here. And she's one of those athletes that it's not just our school that recognizes her, but it's other schools. They're looking.
Heading into her senior season, Brittney Emmons was looking for a MAC championship, but her life took an unexpected turn.
Well, we had come back from Thanksgiving. We had Sunday practice, and I was actually getting ready for an inter-squad meet on floor, and I was actually doing an easier tumbling pass at the time, and I had already done 2 beforehand. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do 1 more. I won't have to tumble again until Friday. And all of a sudden, something felt funny. I took off for a double back, landed short, and that usually never happens to me. And all of a sudden, I just kind of looked down and I looked up at Natalie and was like, it's gone. I was like, my Achilles is gone.
I've watched multiple athletes have that injury, and she was the first one that started beating on the floor, and she looked up at me, and it was just something in those eyes where she didn't have to say anything. I knew what it was, but not a tear, not a shriek, nothing, just a bunch of fist pumps into the floor because she knew what that meant.
From that moment, I knew like things were gonna be tough and that it was gonna take a lot of determination, mental adjustments to do whatever I had decided to do, because obviously Achilles is a big part of being able to move around and stuff. So I knew from that moment I had a bunch of decisions that I needed to make. Ultimately, I had to sit out my senior season, and I didn't enjoy sitting there watching, and I knew that if I had stopped, I probably would have looked back and regretted my decision of not at least trying, because at least if I had tried, and failed, then I had put in all my effort. My first full practice actually did not come till about November, being able to do everything. I had swung bars all summer because obviously that's a less impactful event. So I actually did a floor routine on the floor with 2 of my passes. I did my 3rd pass on a resi, and it was disastrous. And all of a sudden after that, I was like, you know what? It didn't go so well, but I'm actually alive and I'm okay and I think I can do this. So I think that was really a turning point for myself, and knowing that I can do this, I can be able to make this comeback.
With her comeback complete, her role has never been more important.
She has the accolades behind her name to support what she says and what she does at all times. So I feel like her role is to lead this team further than we've been so far.
I think a lot of people tend to look up to me in that, like, they know that this was not an easy decision for me to be able to come back and to push myself to get here. I feel like it's slightly different too, in a sense that I'm the old person on the team, and so they look at me and find maybe more wisdom in myself or something like that. I've had to really work on not really altering my gymnastics, but making my gymnastics fit to now my injury that I've had, because obviously things don't come back always the way they want to. So it's just kind of fixing all the little details that I can, because every 10th counts in this sport, and I just want to be the best that I can be to help this team out and ultimately get that win over another team.
For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Luke Magzaman.
Personally, and I've never had a serious injury like that, let alone an Achilles injury, but it had to be frustrating considering the 2 seasons prior she earned All-MAC second team.
Yeah, the season before she competed in all 12 events in the NCAA Central Regional. Now she's working on her master's degree.
Good for her. Well, our next story is on 2 men's volleyball players, and they took their skills from the court to a local high school for a ride of a lifetime, and it inspired them to maybe even coach at a higher level. Here's a story on their relationship produced by Kevin Thurman and Brad Daly.
Like so many before him, men's volleyball player Urim Demirovsky knew that to improve his skills on the court, he would have to see the game in a different light.
As coaches told me, you should definitely coach because it definitely helps with your game.
I asked Urim because he had gotten a job at Cowan. I said, hey, would you mind asking the head coach if I could come be a volunteer assistant? And things went well after that.
Urim and Julian saw the girls' potential for greatness if they could only play their best come game time.
Seeing the first couple of practices, seeing the competition, seeing the girls, how competitive they are, it just made me believe more they could play their best, you know.
As the season continued, so did the girls playing at their best, which opened doors and windows for dreams and words like state championship.
I never got the chance to in high school, so as soon as we won our first couple games in region and sectional, you know, I was kind of believing, like, okay, you know, if I start saying this, you know, the girls will believe it, the girls are going to buy into it, and they did. Once they bought into it, their heads were straight and their eyes were set on the prize.
They had an opportunity to be a part of a team on a state championship run, and in a community, Cowan, a very small community, but a very volleyball proud community.
On November 3rd, 2012, the 5th-ranked Cowan Blackhawks advanced to the Indiana State Finals, playing the number 3 Lagodi Lions at Ball State's own Worthen Arena.
I've never seen this gym so filled with people.
Coaching here is a whole different experience because now you're on the sidelines, you can hear everything that's going on in the crowd, you're in the court, you kind of block them out.
After giving up a 2-set lead, Cowan sealed the state championship by winning 15-13 in a thrilling 5th-set victory.
It was surreal. It was the best experience I could ever ask for.
Definitely a good bonding experience. I enjoyed every minute of it. You know, we were already close and just made us closer. You know, I learned from him and he learned from me.
It was just a good vibe together as coaches.
To add those memories into your memory bank, or to be able to put those experiences on your resume once you finish college, is going to be a great benefit to both of those guys.
I would definitely like to push into the collegiate world and just to see what opportunities are out there for me.
Next couple of years, I want to continue coaching at Cowan, Muncie Nissan, and then wherever life takes me after there, I want to continue coaching after college.
Urim and Julian's experience coaching together has strengthened many bonds, including their friendship.
Love the kid to death, you know. I don't mind seeing him every day. He's a teammate and brother for life.
I know, I love the kid. It's great seeing him every day at practice, you know, it's something to look forward to.
Coaching at Cowan has left a positive impact on both Urim and Julian in many different ways.
It just made us better people, made us better friends, and made us better coaches.
For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Kevin Thurman.
What a fantastic story for these two. I mean, they get into coaching their first year, win a state championship. Pretty rare.
Yeah, I know, right? And there's so many athletes in high school that don't even get the chance to make it to a state title. And the fact that they're able to jump on board as a coach and get that ring in their first season, it's pretty impressive.
Well, gone 10 years, Rich Maloney has returned to the Ball State baseball program as the head coach. Now, Coach Maloney has a lot of work ahead of him, but he feels as if he's been presented with a great opportunity. Learn more about Coach Maloney and his motto for the team as I was able to sit down as Coach Maloney took a look at his season ahead for a second time.
Yeah, it was interesting. Right off the get-go, Ohio University had shown great interest and wanted my wife and I to fly down there and see if that might be a fit for both parties. Then out of nowhere, Ball State job wasn't even open, so it wasn't even a consideration or anything. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call saying that the Ball State position's open, would you be interested in coming back home? And I said, well, I have to clear that with my bride. And so anyway, nevertheless, we were excited that Ball State was interested. Everybody's excited to get the program back rolling again. But we're climbing a bit of a mountain. We've got some work ahead of us. But extremely pleased with the support. I think Bill Scholl's going to be instrumental. I think President Gora's excited about baseball and raising the level of our programs in the athletic department. And with Pete Limbaugh here and doing a great job he's doing, and some of the new coaches that are on staff and some of the ones that had been friends before, I mean, it has an opportunity to be a great situation. Well, I think the important thing is to lay down your system. So put in the foundation for success for the future of the program. So the very important is the fundamentals. My philosophy of keep it simple, stupid, still rings true here in the great game of baseball. If you throw strikes, you make the routine play, you get a timely hit, you move runners, you have a chance to win. So that's what you got to get in the beginning. I mean, casting a vision and then getting everybody to buy into what you're doing and believe in it. So our motto of "You Got to Believe" is truly embraced by everyone that's part of the program, players and coaches alike.
Pat, we have a lot of exciting plays this season from both men's and women's basketball.
Yeah, it's been a pretty busy month for SportsLink TV as well as SportsLink Radio. Now let's take a look at the two combined together in this month's Sounds of the Season.
Garter takes it across the timeline now, long pass to Smith on the left wing. She'll pull up for three. Good!
Yeah, he does. Brogna has it near corner. Goes to Bond, catches a baseline, and the reverse layup by Bond is good, and the Cardinals have the first point of the afternoon.
Smith on the left wing. Smith drives left side, now kicks out. Nice pass to Jackson, who lays it up and in off the right block. Jackson drives off the left side, hands off to Fontaine, 8 seconds, Fontaine spin move, puts it up and in. Good offensive sets, but they're still down big in this one, 37-21.
Here, on the get-go, Harrison has it, almost has it, tipped away, gathers it back in, then tries to drive in the lane, loses the handle this time, it's taken by Majok, now to Posey. Posey, skip pass, escape in transition, he finishes and has a chance for a three-point play. Perfectly run by Marcus Posey on the season, and he's at the free throw line out of the timeout, and he completes the three-point play. With the dribble, left wing to Posey, skip pass to Brogna, he's open, his three's up, and that's good by Chase Brogna.
Over to Jackson on the right wing, 11 to shoot. Jackson, down low pass, now out to Justice. Justice drives, kicks it out to Jackson. Jackson pulls up for another three. Good! Wow! Ball State ties it up at 53. This game has not been tied since the ball tipped off at zeros. 4:44 left to go. Here's Woody, dribbles top of the key. She'll dribble now to the right wing. Woody drives, right side, puts up a jumper in the lane, gets it to roll in, and we're tied back up at 55.
He still has possession to Scaife. Top of the key three is up and good by Jawan Scaife. He drills it straight up the middle.
Now here's a look at the top tweets in Ball State athletics for the month of March. From men's volleyball attacker Jamie and Hartley, just beat 10th ranked Penn State. So proud of my team. The Cardinals beat a ranked Penn State team for the second time in a row at home. From football coach Pete Lembo, lots of energy and excitement in the weight room this afternoon. The players are finishing up a strong off-season. Go Cards. Not a very long off-season for the football team at all. Their spring ball, in fact, begins at the end of March. And from women's basketball coach Brady Salif, fresh off the MAC tournament, so excited for our kids and our program. They earned a bid to the WNIT. Amazing accomplishment. It's the women's basketball team's first postseason appearance since 2009. And from Rich Maloney, the baseball coach, congrats to our women's softball team on their big win against North Carolina. Go Cardinals. A little crossover love from the two spring sports. And finally, from Ball State baseball, how about this stat? Pitcher Scott Baker is second in the NCAA with a 5-0 record to start the season. You gotta believe Baker's sporting a minuscule 1.74 ERA this season. For more tweets like these and updates on all the best stories in Ball State sports, be sure to follow Ball State Sports Link on Twitter at BSU Sports Link. Josh.
Thanks, Pat. We continue our In Focus series with middle hitter Matt Leske. After growing up in Chicago, he finds himself in the little town of Muncie, Indiana. He's been playing volleyball since high school, and since he's came to Ball State, he's played a vital role. He says he feels like a celebrity walking around campus because here at Ball State and in Muncie, volleyball is important. Check out this story produced by Brad Daly and Dylan Welch.
I'm Matt Leske, and I'm from Highwood, Illinois, just north of Chicago. I'm a middle hitter for Ball State men's volleyball. I'm an accounting major. I'm a senior this year, so we graduated in May, and then getting my master's next year. Get my CPA, go back to Chicago, work for an accounting firm. Yeah, I'm definitely more of a city guy. I love going downtown Chicago, seeing the skyline. To me, nothing beats that. My hobbies are just pretty much sports related. I'm a big guy into sports. I love watching pretty much all kinds of sports. I can watch anything. Also video games too. When I'm not in practice or studying, I like to just play around video games with my roommates, stuff like that. What got me into volleyball, it was just a sport I kind of played in my free time. It was one of the two sports offered at my middle school. So I started playing that with basketball along with that. And then in high school, I just kind of kept playing it. And it's definitely not one of those sports where I thought I want to go to college and play volleyball. It was just kind of happened. I don't really know how to explain it. My favorite part about being on the men's volleyball team is just, I guess, the local support from people in Muncie. It's kind of like we are celebrities here, really, because volleyball there's so much history here in Muncie, and it really does mean a lot to them. So we have people from the community coming out to support us every week. So we're really well known throughout the community. I still find myself in my 4th year on the team. I still get nervous before every game. So I just really try and relax myself and think about the upcoming match, what I can do personally. I chose Ball State because it really was just the best fit for me. I got a call in my senior year around March, and I don't know, just made sense, really.
Now, Matt's a 2012 All-MEVA second-team selection. He's also a 3-time academic All-MEVA player.
And the Cardinals are currently in the heart of their conference season with several big matches coming up, so be sure to check out those.
Moving over to softball, head coach Craig Nicholson wants another MAC title, and after 7 years of coaching, he's got the process down pretty well. He and his team, they have no doubt that they can win another championship. Let's hear more from Coach Nicholson and the players in this story produced by Sydney Toshlog and Peter Loomis.
After a 2012 MAC championship, Coach Nicholson returns a passionate squad with one thing in their sights: another MAC title.
I don't think preparation really changes that much. It may be one of those things where from year 1 to year 2 you tweak it a little bit, but now it's been 7 years. We've been through it 7 times. We kind of feel like we, as a staff, we have it down in terms of what we need to do to get ready for a season. For me, it's just about them getting reps. To get a ton of swings, take a bunch of ground balls, take fly balls for the pitchers to get work. We actually probably one thing that we did a little bit different this year is our pitchers probably threw live to our hitters a little bit more. Some of that was because we have 2 freshman pitchers, and we felt like we needed to get them some time to get some reps throwing to hitters and face our hitters some. So it changes a little bit depending on your personnel, but I think the process that we go through to get ready for the season is pretty consistent and stays very similar from year to year.
Yeah, there isn't a doubt in my mind that we're going to win another MAC championship this year, and we're going to go to the tournament and win that and go on to regionals. We have a lot of young talent that has come in, really stepped it up, and I think they've really bought into our goal and what we're going to do this year. We have a lot of returners that, really lead the younger girls, so I think, yeah, without a doubt, we're going to be really successful this year.
With Gilbert, I mean, it's just more of the same from her. She had a fantastic weekend. She's always been a slow starter, and if she continues to have the March and April like she's had her past 2 years, I mean, her numbers at the end of the year are going to be scary good.
First off, I have to say I love the confidence that this team is showing, so early into the season. And they have one final conference tournament before they begin their conference play, and that quest for that MAC championship begins then.
And as you saw with the story, the amount of leaders, the amount of talent on the team, I think they're pretty confident they can get it done.
I agree. Our next story is on Ball State forward Majok Majok and his instant impact with the team. If it wasn't for his mother, he never would have even played basketball. He caught the eyes of coaches in the under-18 Australian team, and since then, the rest is history. Here's his story in this journey, produced by Paul Murder.
It's the fact that I'm not at home. Sometimes I get really homesick, but I just get through it by playing basketball.
Adaption, a word that Majok embodies.
I didn't find basketball until late. I only started playing basketball about 5 years ago. When I used to play soccer, I was like, maybe I was going to one day play professional in soccer. And I grew about 3-4 inches. That's when my mom was like, maybe you should start playing basketball because you're so tall. At the beginning, I didn't know any of the rules, so I mean, it was kind of tough, but I fell in love with the game, so I got better at it. I was able to be a quick learner.
He had to change quickly, which is nothing new.
I was born in South Sudan, in the city of Rumbek. It's a city that I was born in, and when I was young, the war was already broken out when I was born, so my parents quickly moved. I moved to one of the neighboring countries, Kenya. I stayed there for a while, and that's when my whole family moved to Australia, and that's where I grew up at. I was getting a lot of looks for like the Australian national team for the under-18s. Got me to play with them, and then we traveled, we went to Japan, and then went to New Zealand. And then our final tournament was here in America. That's where I caught eyes of a lot of coaches, and started taking in the idea of coming to play over here. Muncie, a little red. That's it's too cold in Dinka.
It took much getting used to, but a friend eased the transition.
My teammate, Joanne Scaife, is also my roommate. He's the one that got me through everything since he's from here, Muncie.
A quick mind, a tall frame, a love for basketball. He has adapted to life as it changes. Now he alone controls his next adaptation.
One of my main things coming here was be able to win, make it to the tournament, have a good run, and hopefully if I do good, enter the NBA draft, and hopefully to get drafted since it's everybody's dream to play in the NBA.
For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Paul Murder.
Pat, his story is absolutely amazing. To come from where he came from, all the way from Australia, all over the place, got picked up by that Australian team, but then picked up coaches, saw him play. Coming to a different country can't be easy, especially learning the language. Obviously, he's still working on that, and that'll get better, in his years here at Ball State. But he's had so many amazing plays this year, especially the game-winning dunk at the buzzer against Norfolk State, a team that went to the NCAA tournament last year. His presence in the lane and everything has just been unmatched.
And could you imagine where this Ball State basketball team would have been without him? They lose Jared Jones, the big center. He comes in on a transfer, and he's made such a big difference in this team. And it's really interesting to watch him grow because he talked about it. He's only played basketball for a few years, so you're really seeing him progress just as the season goes on.
And he's so much stronger and just bigger. When you look at Jared Jones the past couple of years, Ball State's kind of been, they've been blessed with his presence, and he leaves, and then you have such a big, strong, different kind of style of post player. It's just been awesome to watch him play this season and grow.
It really has.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for the March edition of Sports Things Be a Fan. If you want to keep up with everything Ball State athletics, like us on Facebook and search us on Twitter. Follow us at BSU SportsLink. And don't forget to download our brand new SportsLink app, as well as a new behind-the-scenes blog where you can check out our photos, videos, written stories, and everything on ballstatesports.com.
Also check us out online at ballstatesports.com for more stories on athletes, all here at Ball State. You can catch us locally on WIPB, across the state on Comcast Indiana, and nationally on Fox College Sports.
For our producer Kevin Thurman and all of us here at Ball State SportsLink, I'm Josh Blessing.
And I'm Pat Boylan. We'll see you next month.